Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Karen's Kitchen. I took a few days off and I'm back. There's Erlene. This is a new recipe I found on Pinterest that I thought was quite interesting. Good to see you. And there's Gary and Robert Kramer. Good to see you. Hi, good to see you. And hi, good to see you. And what I'm doing is I got to mash up my beans, but I'm just have them sitting here on the bowl. But this ought to be a simple recipe, and I'm going to eat this for lunch. Quinoa burgers. Hi, good to see you. Welcome. I like making burgers, and when I saw quinoa burgers, I had to cook the quinoa ahead of time, of course. I got that all cooked and set aside. So that'll be added into, it's all one, everything's done in one bowl. So, and it only makes 4 patties, so which is good. So I won't have over an abundance anyway. Very simple to make. Vegan, of course. It has your traditional, onion powder and garlic powder and stuff like that in it. Well, there's Nadelka. Good to see you. Welcome. This is going to be a simple recipe. Quinoa is anything. Well, I should say, if you love quinoa, you're going to keep it. You're going to keep it as a staple in your house. I use quinoa for different recipes, So I just got it only takes a quarter cup of it. So I just took a quarter cup of quinoa and cooked it with a half a cup of water. It didn't take very long to cook it. You can see it's real little. I want to get hi, good to see you. And I got all the water and everything out of it. I let it cool off. And it has to cool off plenty. But quinoa is a good grain. So like I said, I use quinoa quite often. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. Instead of always using the blender, which I'll probably do again, but using a blender or the quick cooker, I want to do something on the stove for a change. Make something that should be easy enough for everybody to make. It does call for several different ingredients, quite a few ingredients, but they're very small. Doesn't take much of them, so it shouldn't take too long to make it. It's a total of what they say. It's a total of 10 minutes is all. Prep time is 10 minutes. Cook time is 10. Total time is 20. So it's only 20 minutes. So that isn't bad. Anyway. So what's everybody's weather doing today? We're kind of on the sunshiny right now. No, this is the white. This is the white quinoa. There's different color, but I usually use just the white quinoa. 40 degrees and cold. That is cold early, You're back to putting your heat on. We were about 45 when I got up this morning. I turned my heat off because it's warming up now. But there is the multicolored quinoa, and there's usually the white. I have never used the multicolored, so I've just used the white, because that's the one that's used the most. And it's just it's real small grain. You almost need a magnifying glass to see it. So 75 in California. Yeah, still pretty warm in California. Huh. Well, it's nothing like what you had, the 100-degree weather and stuff like that. It's nothing like that. So, no. No. I've never had grits, to tell you the truth. I've never had grits. I don't know what they taste like. So if anybody asks me if I've ever had grits, no, I've never had it. So I have no idea what they even taste like. I'm not saying I wouldn't be willing to try it sometime, but I just never had them. I like to do simple recipes. I like to do simple recipes, and I thought, well, this being simple enough, I'm going to go ahead and make this, because everybody likes quinoa, and I like quinoa. And I am going to make one substitution in this recipe, though. It calls for black beans, but they said you can substitute for any beans you wanted, so I went and bought me a can of the light kidney beans, and I'm going to use those instead of the black beans. I happen to like them better, so maybe it'll get a little bit better flavor. Now, that being said, you can use black beans if you want. You can use any kind of bean that you want, kidney beans, dark, light, or whatever. You can use the Great Northern beans. If you want to use whatever to make this recipe, go right ahead. I will tell you that I substitute the kidney beans. As you can see, they're in this bowl. I got to mash them up. A can of kidney beans. I just don't care for black beans. I don't know. Lima beans, you probably could. They're awful big though, so I don't know. It says you can substitute any bean that you wanted. if you don't care for black. So you could try lima beans. I just happen to think of kidney beans because I used to eat a lot of kidney bean salad, so I liked kidney beans. Lima beans, I love them too. They're a lot bigger, so I don't know if you could really use those or not. You could try it, you know. Oh, no problem. Not a problem at all. Oh, you like, yeah, pinto beans and Great Northern beans are the simplest one. And the pinto beans are what they use in the chili beans. So those make it simple, and they're small. Like your kidney beans, they're not real big. They're similar to your black beans in size. But I just happen to like kidney beans a little bit better. As you can see, I haven't got these mashed yet, and I plan on mashing them right here on camera. But you should make this any way that you want. You do what you feel is best for you. This also called for 3 ounces of tomato paste. And I had to look that up to see how much 3 ounces was. It's a little bit more than 1/4 of a cup. I thought, well, I'm just going to measure out 1/4 of a cup. A little bit tad more, and that'll be good to go. It's about half a can anyway. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this started because it's going to take a little time to do it. Let me put this down just a little bit and get myself over there so you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm trying to, and this is the mix and masher from Pampered Chef. I try to mash these as best I can. They're not easy to mash, let me tell you. Chickpeas aren't either, but I do the best I can trying to get them mashed. They're mashing okay. I'd rather use this than a potato masher. I don't know why. I when I make mashed potatoes, I'll use this instead of the potato masher. I don't know why. I just happen to like this so much. It's my go-to. It's basically my go-to masher now. And you know, you do what works. You know, of course, if you want to use a potato masher or you want to use a fork, which I don't know, it'd take a lot longer with the back of a fork. You know, I don't recommend that too much because you might be standing there for a while trying to get them mashed. That's why I like using this because as you can see, it's doing a real good job of getting them mashed. They're just about the consistency they need to be. You mash them any particular way that you can, that you want to. And I'm going to put these and I'll be putting it down when I'm ready to put them on the stove is my 10-inch Pampered Chef skillet. I've got that sitting on the stove, and I'll be doing that. I think that's probably pretty much, maybe not all completely mashed, but it does work your arms quite often. So I think it's pretty much, I'm going to leave that go. All right, now I'm going to tell you what it takes. And I've got to have the quinoa, but I'm going to follow the instructions, what it says. In a large bowl, add the rinsed black beans and mash them fully with a fork or potato masher. Add the cooked quinoa to the black beans, and then add the tomato paste and the seasonings. Okay, and there's breadcrumbs that goes into it too. So I'll add this quinoa. Like I said, it only took 1/4 of a cup of quinoa. That isn't very much. They said also that you can use rice. If you want to use quinoa, you can use rice in the place of quinoa. So you can think about that as well. It's just whatever you want to do. Okay, and then it says, okay, add the cooked quinoa to the black beans, and then add the tomato paste. Okay, I'm going to add my tomato paste. Dishes to do when I get done here as always. Put that in there. Now it says all the seasonings and the breadcrumbs, and then I've got 4 patties. So I'll get my seasonings. I'll tell you what I'm putting in here as I'm putting in here. A teaspoon of paprika. Okay. Oh, this is the smoked paprika. Let me go get the other one. That's the wrong one. I've got them both together and I picked up the wrong one. Gotta find it here. Hopefully I can find it real fast. I had to end up picking up the wrong one. I could probably, oh, here it is. Here's the other one. Okay. All right. I got the regular one. I just picked up the smoked one, thinking it was what I needed. Okay. Now close these up as I use them, so I don't put the same thing back in again. I'll just set it for now. And let's see, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for sharing this out. I do appreciate it. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. And half a teaspoon of oregano. And half a teaspoon of salt. And everybody knows I use sea salt. Might end up with a little bit more than I'm supposed to have, but well, I guess that's pretty good right there. I don't want to use too much. Like I said, you can put it in, but you can't take it out. And I don't use pepper. And then 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. I haven't got them measured out yet, so I'll go ahead and measure those. I'll put them in here. This doesn't matter. Yeah, this is dirty, so I'll just put it in here. Breadcrumbs. And I'm going to use Panko. They say you can't use Panko breadcrumbs, so I'm going to use those. And what the breadcrumbs does is it binds it together. Without breadcrumbs, you cannot bind it. It won't stay together. And then the olive oil will go into my skillet, which I'm going to put a tablespoon of olive oil into my skillet, and I'll bring that down as soon as I'm ready to put the burgers in there. And there we go. Now I think okay. And then I got to form 4 patties. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix this together. See, I might use a spoon first to get it kind of stirred together so then I can get my hand into it. Get it kind of all mixed together a little bit here. Without your breadcrumbs, I've made stuff before. I used to make, oh, I don't have any gloves. I probably should get those, well, it's just me anyway. I don't have any of the rubber gloves. I know what you're talking about, or the plastic gloves. I don't have any. Some people do. Well, Alexis doesn't use it, and other ones don't use it. It's not really that material. If you use it for your own self, for your own, you know, doing it yourself, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm at home. I'm not out in a restaurant. I'm not cooking for other people. I'm at home. So thank you for helping me, because you're always going to get somebody that's going to say something that they got to stop and think before they say it. Okay. Now I'm going to get my my skillet heated up here. Make sure to turn the right burner on, because I don't want to turn the wrong burner on. And then as I'm doing it in the skillet, then I'll let you see, bring this down. This is my 10-inch skillet. Try to get that. And so it forms 4 burgers. So we'll see how many. I probably have the pretty good sized ones, I guess. But you can see it's going to look pretty good. You got that right. You know something? Hands were invented before gloves, forks, knives, and spoons. So there you go. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in a restaurant where I have to be precise and I'm making for a whole bunch of people. I'm not doing that at all. No, there's no oats in it. There's only quinoa. I'll give you the ingredients in just a minute. There's no oats in it at all. There's quinoa in it. There's quinoa. Well, that's true. You're right. You're right, Erlene. Yeah, yes, you can. Yeah, cut down on washing dishes. Now, these are freezable. So what I don't eat, I can go ahead and freeze. Now, this I'm going to try to get 4 out of here. They're going to be, those first 2 are probably bigger than these will be, but that's okay. They said it makes 4 patties, so this isn't as big. I can make it as big as I want. They're going to be awesome, I think. Hi, sweetie. I see you just came in. I'm making the quinoa burgers. Okay. There's my daughter. People that don't know, my daughter just came in. But this is a very simple recipe. Hi, sweetie. It's a very, very, very simple recipe. And since you just came in, I'll tell you exactly what's in it. Because there's a 1/4 cup of uncooked quinoa. Of course, we know about that. 2/3 cup of, wow, forgot the water. Oh, I forgot water, but I think they'll hold together anyway. 1 15-ounce can of black beans, rinsed and drained. 3 ounces of tomato paste. I hope they hold together. I forgot the water. So we'll see. Well, that's probably, I think what I meant, the 2/3 cup of water to cook the quinoa. I used a 1/2 cup. I think that's what they're talking about. There's no water in here. Okay. That threw me off. All right. 1 teaspoon of paprika, teaspoon of onion powder. You got a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, which I don't use, a 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs, and you have a tablespoon of olive oil, which is in the bottom of my skillet, and burger buns and toppings of choice. So that water threw me off. That's what you use to cook the quinoa. It kind of threw me off a little bit. But these are supposed to hold together. I'm going to go get a lid so that'll cook better. There we go. Now they should. Hi, Alexis. Yeah, I just got my burgers in the skillet, and I'll tell you what's in it. There's hi, Cheryl. Good to see everybody that just came in. Thank you for coming in and sharing this out. These are very simple to make. These are quinoa burgers. Yeah, isn't it awesome? This is from Alex of Agape Love from California. He sent this to me, and I unboxed it. I don't know, was it last week or the week before I unboxed it? Well, you know something? I can always add that. You know, I don't eat real cheddar cheese. I eat vegan cheese, but I can always put shredded on the end of it. Oh, thank you. That's why Alex had a design for me, because he thought it was just right for me. If you can read what this says. People who love to eat are always the best people, and that was by Julie the Child. I thought that was so nice of him to have this made for me. I didn't expect it. And then when he told me I was getting a gift, I thought, oh my goodness, why is he doing that for me? But he wanted to, so I'm thankful that he did. I'm going to put this up a little bit. Looks like I'm chopping my head off until I can turn those over, and I'll show you what they look like. But I'm just so happy that he took the time to make this. I mean, I didn't expect it. You know, he's just that way. He gives of himself. He kind of pays it forward and does everything. He does a lot for Alexis, too. He sends stuff to her, so she knows what it's like to get stuff sent to her. If you're not following Alexis, follow her. She always gives good. She come back on again this morning after taking a week off. Although she was on last night. If you weren't in her Periscope last night, go back and watch her broadcast from last night. She made caramel sauce in the blender. Plus, she also made the bundt cake in the quick cooker. They were awesome. That bundt cake looks so. And Erlene just posted a bundt cake on my vegan page that she had done in the oven. It looked awesome, and she finally got it iced and everything. I don't know what recipe she followed, but she put it on my Facebook page, so you go check that out. And if you're not following me on my Facebook page, then go into Karen's Vegan Heaven, we post recipes up there. We post things that we've made, pictures of what we made, and we put the recipe right along with it, so others can try to make the same thing. I do that all the time because people want to know exactly how to make things. You know, if you could tell them, well, you make it this way, you make it that way, but if you don't have a recipe to go along with it, how are they going to know? The recipe, okay, the recipe's with the picture, okay. I didn't really pay attention to the recipe early, and I was looking at the picture because the picture was mouth-watering. It looked so good. So, hi, River. Good to see you. You never come into my cooking scopes, but thank you for coming in. These are quinoa burgers that I've made and put them in my skillet. They're going to be awesome. It's going to take a little time to get them cooked. They're starting to cook now. And as soon as they get cooked, then I can flip them over. I've made 4 burgers. And these are supposed to hold together because I got Panko breadcrumbs in them. But they're simple to make. It only took a 1/4 cup of quinoa. Oh, you're okay. All right, Alexis. You take care of driving home. How come I quit eating fish? Because I'm a vegan. We don't eat any meat of any kind. We don't eat pork. We don't eat hamburger. We don't eat fish. We don't drink dairy milk. We don't eat dairy products at all. Eggs, cheese. I buy all vegan stuff. Shredded cheese. And Alexis, bless her heart, she sent me a message in Messenger the other day and showed me the neat egg. And I said, yeah, I know about that. I already got that because Walmart has it. Oh, yes, it has, River. It has been a long time. Been missing you on some of the other scopes that come on, you know, but like Forerunner, he was on this morning. You missed him, but it's good to see everybody in here. It's because of you I come in here every day because I don't want to be talking to myself. I mean, you know, if I start answering myself, then I got a problem, you know. And believe me, sometimes I'll do that. I'll do something and I'll say, "Oh, what did you do that for, Karen?" Well, you know. And I don't give myself an answer back either, you know. But you can talk to yourself, but just don't answer yourself. You really got a problem if you start answering yourself. And that's easy to do, you know. I know some of you said what your weather's doing. I don't care for black beans that well either. But you can take any beans that you want. Oh, I know you moved from North Florida. I know I saw that, River. How'd that go? I hope it was awesome and you're enjoying your time in Arizona. Yeah, I don't care for black beans either, but this said you can use any beans that you want. You can use your kidney beans. You can use probably pinto beans if you want to. Great northern beans. Somebody asked about lima beans. Well, you probably could use lima beans if you wanted to. I haven't had those in ages. But I don't like the black beans as well, so I got me a can of the light kidney beans, which I don't think it matters if you have dark or the light colored kidney beans, mashed them up, and then use them instead of the black beans. But you can use whatever you choose to use. I can show you a picture of it, what it looks like when it's done. There you can see, of course, putting everything on top of it. Doesn't that look good? You can, hi, Missy, good to see you. You can put your tomato on that, tomato, onion, any toppings on it that you want. It's a very simple burger to make, and if you're like me, you'll have quinoa as one of the staples in your house. Quinoa is I use a lot for different recipes. It's a simple grain. It doesn't take very long to cook it. It takes a lot less time to cook it than rice does, because I cooked rice already, and it takes a lot longer. Of course, if you use the quick cooker, it gets done in a short period of time. Let me get some water. But I use the quick cooker during the week when I'm making something small for myself. Just one thing. I used it yesterday for macaroni and cheese. With these quinoa burgers, I'm gonna flip my thing down and I'll let you see. Hopefully I don't flip my my tripod over. But these things are supposed to turn over real good without falling apart. That's why they got the breadcrumbs in them. And they don't fall apart. If you didn't have the breadcrumbs, they probably would. I use the Panko. And these actually will... Oh, yes, they do, don't they? And these actually, they say you can freeze these too. You can freeze them. So that makes it better yet. You can freeze them. And I think that's awesome because if you can't eat them all right away, yeah, they will be. I like burgers, and I'm always trying to find burger recipes. When I was on Pinterest this morning, I went to vegan recipes made easy or something like that. And when I saw that come on the screen, I told my daughter, I says, oh my goodness, quinoa burgers. I've never made burgers out of quinoa. I've made them out of lentils. I've made them out of rice, but I've never made black beans, but I never made them out of lentils. Quinoa. You could probably use chickpeas too. I used the light red kidney beans. It called for black beans. However, you don't have to use the black beans if you don't want to. You've never had quinoa. It's a very small grain. Very, very small. Not much to it at all. It's a lot smaller than your rice. You know, rice is small, but this is even smaller than. I'll get even show you what it looks like in case you don't know. See how small that is? Real small. That's the grain. That's your. And this is gluten free. It's organic, and this is what I used. Yeah, sweetie, I used a half a cup, and I didn't have it cooked very long, and I cooked it right down. I cooked it until all the water was out of it. Now, in the recipe called for 2/3 cup of water, but I don't think that would have been enough. That threw me off when I saw the 2/3 cup of water. I said, oops, I forgot to put water in here. But that's what meant to go in the quinoa. So we figured it out. And I told her, I said, if it's a 1/4 cup of quinoa, it should be half a cup of water. Yes, it is. It is very, very versatile. And who would have thought you could make burgers out of quinoa? You know, like I said, I've made lentil burgers, you know, black bean burgers, which I'm not real fond of black bean burgers, though Alexis has made them. And I suppose if you make them properly, have the right recipe, they'll come out good. I think the black bean recipe I had wasn't the greatest in the world. But quinoa burgers, I can't, you know, look at these. Oh, I'm going to post it on my vegan Facebook page. I have a vegan Facebook page called Karen's Vegan Heaven, where all my recipes are posted, and that's where I'll post it up there. If you want to just join the page, and I will approve you because I'm the admin, and we go in there. Erlene posts recipes in there. My daughter's posted a recipe or two in there. Don't these look awesome? Just look at these. I mean, look at that. I'm going to probably put it down just a little bit more. Wow, look at those. They look, aren't they pretty? They're very, very pretty. Look at those. Awesome. And they held together. There's just a little bit here in the skillet. Let me see if I can get that out of here. Put it on the thing so I don't get my fingers burnt on the skillet. Try that. It is different. Very, very different. This is something that I'm going to really eat a lot of because I love quinoa. And it makes very simple burgers. I mean, the color of them. Can you imagine that? Because you got your tomato paste and everything. Look at the color of them. These are awesome. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? Wow. I can't believe how really nice that they look. I'm going to leave them in there just a little bit longer to get them really good and done, which I think they are, and I'll put them on a plate and then you can see them. But don't be afraid to experiment with different recipes. You're going to find that it's a lot of fun experimenting with different recipes because you like to see, if you're anything like me, you want to see how they're going to turn out. Now, that being said, there have been recipes that I've done for the very first time that for some unknown reason, they didn't turn out very good. And I don't know if it was something I had done, I had missed something in the recipe, or what happened, or maybe the recipe wasn't written properly, because I went down the list and I saw everything in the recipe, and I said, no, I didn't forget anything, but I don't know what happened. They just didn't taste good. Black bean burgers, I've tried them before. They are an acquired taste. Now, I will use black beans in soup. That being said, it's not too bad. if it's put in with other vegetables. But I don't care for it in burgers. That's why I decided I'm going to put some kidney beans in here. Now, if you like kidney beans, go for it. You want to use chickpeas, you can do that as well. Pinto beans, lima beans, great northern beans, any of the beans that you want to put in there. You feel free to use any of the beans that you want to, because any of them will work if you don't want to use the black beans. And I didn't want to use the black beans. And when I saw that, I thought, awesome. I'm going to just use, but here's what here's the sandwich made up. Look at that. And with the tomato on there and your onion on there. Oh, I know. Isn't it awesome? People that know Alex Agape Love from California, he had this specially made for me. He sent it to me. And I could not believe it when I found out I was getting something like this. When I opened it up, my mouth dropped open. It's turned out to be my favorite apron, because I think of Alex every time I put it on. It's so pretty. Now, well, this is a new shirt, and I didn't want to get it dirty because I just bought a new shirt and pair of pants, so I didn't want to get it dirty. But I love this, and if you can't see what this saying is, it says, "People who love to eat are always the best people," and that's from Julia Child. Oh, pinto beans, yes, pinto beans, you can use those as well. Oh yes, pinto beans. You can also use pinto beans if you choose pinto beans, or you can use the great northern beans. Any of those beans that you want to use, you can use. I'll go ahead and shut that. Now I'm going to put these on the plate so that you can see what they look like, and then I'll have them done. And these did not fall apart. The first two are bigger than the other two, but that's okay. And now you can freeze these too, it said. They're freezer friendly. And this only gets four burgers out of it. So there you go. There's the burgers. Oh, it's not too bad right now. We're not real cold right now, but we're not hot either. But don't these look awesome? Look at that. Wow. Really look good. We were in the 40s this morning when I got up. We're probably in the 50s right now. I turned my furnace off for now, and I'll leave it off until I need it tonight. When I go to bed, then I'll turn it back on. But you know something? I was so glad when I saw this recipe. I thought, man, I'm going to do these quinoa burgers because, like I said, I'm always trying to find burgers to do. I've made tofu burgers in here. I've tried making other burgers. It just didn't turn out very well. And I thought, well, I'm going to try something different. And when I saw the quinoa burgers, I thought, oh my, I've got to try those. But look at that. Look at the color. Isn't that awesome? Beautiful color. And you know something? You look at that, it reminds me of fall. It looks just like the fall leaves that are falling from the trees. Nice and colorful. Very, very colorful. They're going to be very, very tasty. I know they will. Because they haven't got black beans. And when I put black beans in burgers, I can't eat them too well. But with the kidney beans in there, I'll be able to eat them much, much better. It's going to taste better to me. I don't know about you, but I know black beans are a little icky for me too. Like I said, I'll put them in a soup or something else that... Awesome! Yes, they're simple to make. You just use half a brick of tofu and it makes two burgers, but they are awesome. I haven't made them in a long time. I need to go back and make those again because I've made them on here already, so I won't make them again, but they're awesome. Hi, Melissa. Good to see you. Here's my quinoa burgers. Don't those look good? They came out absolutely fantastic, and I know they're going to taste really good too. These are going to get posted up on my vegan page. Hi, good to see you. Welcome. They're going to get posted up on my vegan page. For those that are members of my page, I do recipes and I like to post them up there. And I also have a YouTube channel, which my periscopes will go up on YouTube. So if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, just follow me on YouTube. A pumpkin burger. I'll have to look for one of those. That would be awesome too, wouldn't it? I have never seen a recipe for a pumpkin burger. Well, you gave me another idea. Something to do. But like I said, when I was going on Pinterest this morning, I thought, well, I'm going to do something a little bit different than always using the blender. I'll see if I can find a recipe. a vegan recipe. And when I saw this quinoa burger pop up on my newsfeed, I thought, well, this is awesome. I'll make these quinoa burgers because they're simple to make, not hard to make. There's a little bit more ingredients to them, and those that are just coming in. In case you don't know what's in here, I will tell you. I took a quarter cup of uncooked quinoa and cooked it on the stove with a half a cup of water. It calls for 2/3, but I used a half a cup. And it's got one. It says 1 15-ounce can of black beans, rinsed and drained. But I didn't put black beans in here. I put kidney beans. You can feel free to use any beans you want. Pinto, chickpeas, the darker red kidney beans, lima beans if you choose to. You can actually use the black beans if you want to. It's whatever you want to choose. 3 ounces of tomato paste, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and you got a half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of salt, and I leave out the pepper. A 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs, and your tablespoon of olive oil goes in your skillet. Now, I use the Panko for the breadcrumbs. They said you can use Panko breadcrumbs as well. That helps hold it together because without breadcrumbs, these would fall apart. But as you can see, they're staying together. Isn't that awesome? And I'm always pleased when I make burgers on here that they end up staying together because I've made burgers before that just literally fell apart on me, and I'd have to end up making something else with them. I think one time I made some vegan or lentil sloppy joes because I was trying to make lentil burgers and they fell apart, so I just made sloppy joes out of it. It came out okay, but I wanted the burgers out of it. But now I've actually got the burgers, and I love this. It looks like fall colors on the trees. You know, their leaves that are falling. Well, I don't want to mess them up because of my my vegan page. I want to put on my vegan page. They look really good. I'll just take a little piece off the edge. Somewhat. They're really good though. They only have to cook about 4 minutes on each side, and they look really good. They're awesome. They've got a very good flavor to them. Simple to make. This quinoa is one of the items I keep in my cupboard because you never know when you're going to use quinoa for anything. I've made a lot of things with quinoa in the quick cooker as well. Quinoa is a staple, very small grain. Like I said, it's something you can use. I like it better than I do rice in a way. Although they said you can take these patties here, and if you don't want to use quinoa, you can use rice. So some people may say, well, I'd rather use rice than quinoa. Go right ahead and do that. I'll put that in the instructions that you can also use rice if you choose to. Probably you'll have to cook them a little bit longer. Use a quick cooker or cook them on the stove first, of course. And I think she said it was the brown rice, but let me check for sure. I think it's the brown rice you use, I believe. Let me look real quick. Let's see. You could try cooked brown rice. So it would be the brown rice. I saw something today at Fred Meyer that I'd never seen before. Is red rice. I've never seen that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I try my best. I haven't always done a great job because sometimes they fall apart on me or they don't taste good for whatever reason. Makes me wonder if something I had done wrong. But if I follow the recipe to the letter or to the T when I first make it, usually when I make something for the first time, that's what I do. I follow it to the T because I don't want to mess up. And then after I've made it the first time, if it tastes a little odd or weird or something, and I feel it could use something else, I'll add something to it, or I'll leave something out that I may not like. Oh, well, thank you. I sure try. I'm not as good as Alexis because she's been doing it a lot longer than I have. But I do enjoy doing it. I do, and the days I take off, I want you to not worry when I take days off because you can get burned out coming on here every day and doing this. It's a lot of work. So I decided I took yesterday off and I took Friday off. So if I take a couple of days off, don't worry, I'll be back because I'm not going to stay away. I just need to, relax and get my bearings straight and get myself ready for when I do come out again. So I will take a few days off now and again. But we all need to take breaks once in a while, don't we? You know, you can't be on here completely all the time. You need to take breaks. But when I come in here, I love showing you what I can make because I know that if you try it, you can make it too. You're right. You're right, sweetie. We do. We need a. You're right. You're right. Exactly. Need a recharge, everyone. Yes, and I think that's why Alexis took the week off, because she wanted to she more or less recharge your batteries or whatever. You know, you got to get rejuvenated and recharge yourself. Oh, absolutely, Early. You get rested up then. Absolutely, but throughout the week, I try to come in here as much as I possibly can. I'll come in every day, and if I'm not going to come in, I'll tell you, because Friday I wasn't sure if it was or not. And I just decided, well, I didn't find anything, and I was just going to take that day off. Fridays is kind of hectic sometimes in a way anyway, especially if I'm fixing for potluck. You got to have that open to fix for the potluck for the church, fellowship meal and stuff. So I may not come in here on Fridays, but I'll try to come in as much as I can. But when I saw this recipe on Pinterest today, I thought, well, I'm going to make this because I know people love quinoa. I do. I love quinoa. But those that just come in, if you want to use rice, brown rice, cook your brown rice, do that. Use that instead of quinoa. But it actually made very good burgers. It really did. You use breadcrumbs to kind of hold it together. And you can see when I'm mixing it up, it held together quite well. It's got a lot of moisture to it, and that's what you want. That's going to hold it together, because if it's too dry, it's going to fall. It's going to fail, and it's not going to hold together. I think the tomato paste kind of helped hold it together too, because I used 3 ounces of tomato paste. So, but don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. I'm always trying new recipes, because there's so many things out there that you can make. I talked to my tenant today. I went over to see the place, because I haven't seen it since he's moved in, and I wanted to see what it looked like. We were sitting down talking, and he said, I make everything myself. He doesn't buy anything processed. He makes his own. He makes his own burgers as well. He makes his own pasta. He also has a garden out in the backyard. But he makes everything he makes himself. He says he doesn't go out and buy any processed foods anymore, because he says they're just not that good. So there are people out there that have decided it's a lot better to make it yourself, because you know what's in it. And he said, that's right. You know what's in it. You don't have to guess. Because if you make something or eat something that's processed, you're at the mercy of the manufacturer. And there may be something in there that's not going to help you one bit, and it's going to affect your body. And then you wonder why, after you've eaten it, you wonder why you ate it. So I'm very, very careful. I will tell you this. I avoid anything with high fructose corn syrup. And even if it has the regular corn syrup in it, I kind of avoid it, because you don't need that at all. That high fructose corn syrup especially, don't use that stuff. That stuff is poison, you know. And there's so many things out there with high fructose corn syrup, things that you wouldn't think they're putting it in. Crackers, the Ritz crackers I always buy have high fructose corn syrup in them. I'm thinking, what gives here? Why would they put high fructose corn syrup in crackers? We don't want them in the crackers. We don't need them in the crackers. But it seems like they're putting that in everything. The carrageenan, like my daughter has been finding out, carrageenan, it seems like it's about everything you come to anymore. It's just, that's another thing you have to look out for, is the carrageenan. The one, when I made that, the last thing I made that one day with that shredded cheese, I told my daughter, it wasn't until after I ate that I realized it had carrageenan in it. That was the Go Veggie shredded cheddar. I threw that away. But get this, the Go Veggie Mexican brand that I buy that's got the yellow and the white color doesn't have carrageenan in it. And it's the same company, but they put carrageenan in one and not in the other. And I'm thinking, what? It's, Okay, all right, Erlene. Have a great day, and thank you for coming in. Take care. And I thought, my goodness, why are they putting carrageenan in one? And if they're not going to put it in one, take it. Don't put it in any of them. It's terrible. That carrageenan stuff is horrible. So I try to avoid it with the plague. I will not eat that stuff or the high fructose corn syrup. I'm going to get off in a little bit, I think, because I'm losing people. Because I want to eat these before they get cold. But I'm going to post this up on my vegan page first, or not. Well, I'll take a picture of it so I can post it up there. Let you see what these are like, and you try to make these yourself. And I'm sure that once you've made them, you'll like them. The quinoa is very simple to buy if you know where to get it. I get mine at Walmart. Walmart should have it. Any place that you go to the grocery store would have quinoa. It's a real small, tiny grain. But if you don't want to use quinoa, use cooked brown rice as well. You have to cook the brown rice first. So you can use rice or quinoa. Oh, awesome. Okay, I will take care of that and make sure that I add you. And thank you for joining, because you miss so much unless you're on the vegan Facebook page, because we post these up here all the time. Arlene posted her bundt cake that she made in the oven. She posted that on my page with the recipe. So you can feel free to make anything that you come across. They're all good recipes. And you can tweak them to your liking. You know, there may be something in there that you don't particularly like, that you wouldn't eat. Just make it the way you see fit, because we all have different tastes anyway. So if you like something that's different than me, go right ahead and put it in there. I did the quinoa because I like the quinoa. Maybe next time I'll make these with brown rice. I don't know which is ever going to be better. What I might do is I'll do it with the quinoa now, and then I'll try it with the rice next time. See which one. You're welcome. See which one I like the best, which does make it taste better, because you're going to have a different flavor from the quinoa and the rice. So that's true. So I'm going to try it and see which one I like the best. But I'm not a radical vegan. Oh my goodness. That's not very nice to say. I think this person's got to go. Goodbye. 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 That's uncalled for. I think that guy was just begging for oozing for a bruising. But anyway, I'm going to go and eat this now, so I can enjoy it while it's still warm, because I don't want to eat it cold. And I thank you all for coming in, and I hope you have a great and marvelous day. And I'll come on again tomorrow. I might do something in the blender tomorrow. But in the meantime, take care. God bless. And until we meet again, bye-bye.